let's go ahead and talk about the anatomy of the lungs and the pleura. First off, the pleural cavity is divided into three parts. There's two pleural parts and one mediastinum. The mediastinum is divided into the anterior, the middle, and the posterior, as the name would imply. And then the pleura, there are four parts. There's the cervical pleura, the costal pleura, the mediastinal pleura, and diaphragmatic pleura. Up here, where the cervical pleura is, there's the cupula, or the cupula, however you want to pronounce that. And that's the space that the cervical pleura will rest in. You have the costodiaphragmatic recess, where the pleura is coming down with the lung into that diaphragm and the costal cartilage area. And then you have the costomediastinal recess, which is where that pleura ends up butting up against the mediastinum. Coming over here and discussing some of the lung anatomy, it's important to know that the vagus nerve comes down and it splits, and when it's coming around, it's going to turn into the recurrent laryngeal and then continue on into the left vagus. The right vagus doesn't have any such deviation. We have the aorta here, and then we have all these structures here: the bronchus, the pulmonary trunk or pulmonary artery, and pulmonary vein. All of those structures together make up the root of the lung. Wherever that lung enters and has all of that root come in, that's the hilum of the lung, or the entrance of the lung. It should be noted that right next to the bifurcation of the bronchus, we have the cardiopulmonary nerve plexus. Just below that, we have the tracheobronchial lymph nodes. And further on the bronchus, we have the hilar lymph nodes. Some organization of each of those lungs. It should be noted that the order of stacking here, which wasn't drawn appropriate right there, but for 1 second we'll forgive the artist who drew that. We have the bronchus on top, and then the pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein. And then on the left side, we have the artery on top, so that ends up coming above the bronchus. So these two will crisscross: the artery, the bronchus, and then the vein. Now, as well, remembering if we had both of those lungs that were just taken out, we were looking, we're trying to figure out which one is which, we can always use Rouse, which is the location of the artery in relation to that bronchus. So right is anterior and left is superior, and that's how we're able to distinguish those two lobes of the lung. I think that'll do it.